Good morning. It's time for your farm and ranch news. Well, as amendments do continue to pile in for the Senate version of the 2012 Farm Bill, Nebraska Senator and former Secretary of Agriculture Mike Johanns is now looking to ban the EPA's use of aerial surveillance. Johanns says that it's a trust issue, stating that farmers and ranchers don't trust the EPA doing low-level surveillance flights over their operations. These flights, according to the EPA, have been done to ensure compliance under the Clean Water Act. The amendment that was introduced on Tuesday would specifically prohibit the EPA from conducting aerial surveillance to inspect or to record images of agricultural operations. It does not affect the use of traditional on-site inspections. Now, this discussion of the EPA flying over operations to check on compliance is a pretty heated one. Some say it's spying, while others say that it's absolutely within the agency's rights to ensure compliance. You can add your 2 cents on our online discussion on this topic that we do have at northernag.net. Now, as you look towards the markets here, yesterday we did see some pressure onto the cattle markets, and a lot of that was coming from what's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That is that boxed beef number that has been losing some ground and that is making traders a little bit unsure in the cattle pits. We're also waiting on that cash cattle trade to come in. Last week's numbers are on your screen. As you can see, a little bit higher than the week before, up 1 to 2 on a live basis, 1 to 4 higher on a dressed basis. Earlier this week in Riverton, we saw a test of just over 600 head of cattle, those young cow-calf pairs with a top of 1,675, middle-aged pairs topping out at 1,700. In Peoria, the cash hogs up by 50 cents yesterday. Those Fort Collins finished lambs a little bit softer their last test, which was last week a top of 161. Local cash grain prices, as you can see, that winter wheat with the top of 641, the spring wheat with the top of 786, did see the wheat markets actually poking up a little bit stronger after some losses that we did see earlier in the week. That is a look at your markets. Now these messages. As we talk more about what is going on in the Senate Farm Bill debate, sugar farmers and companies did get a bittersweet surprise Tuesday evening as the Senate opened debate on the Farm Bill by seeking to phase out the sugar program. According to DTN, Senate leaders announced that debate would begin on an amendment that would require the USDA to phase out the tariffs on imported sugar and also ratchet down the loan rate. And in the meantime, sugar beets are growing here at home. For Sydney Sugars in northeast Montana, acreage is up, but they are expecting tonnage to be less. I did speak to Russ Fulmer, who is the agriculture manager. Looking at crop conditions, he called it the Clint Eastwood crop because he says that there's a bit of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Most of that ugliness, he says, is attributable to the dryness that was seen early this spring. Their plans are to start opening the beet dumps the 1st of October. And KRTV in Great Falls did report on Tuesday that 2 women protesting on behalf of PETA had bared it all in downtown Great Falls that afternoon to spread a message about water conservation. The shower curtain they were standing sparsely clothed behind told that if you give up eating 1 pound of meat, you can save nearly 2,400 gallons of water annually. Now, I did contact the Animal Agriculture Alliance, who boasts a world of stats for the ag industry. They told me that PETA's antics are way out of line. They said that today farmers and ranchers produce more beef using fewer natural resources, including water, than ever before. According to a 2011 study in the Journal of Animal Science, the amount of water used to raise beef today, compared to 30 years ago, has been reduced by 12%. In fact, a study by the World Wildlife Fund also shows that replacing meat with meat substitutes like tofu can have detrimental effects on the environment. With your farm and ranch news, I'm Haylie Shipp.